Black Magic Sorcerer here with another video, and today we are working with the Goetia spirit Andras. This spirit is a spirit that I was working with a couple of years ago, and I had put this candle away and just sort of forgot about it. And it's still good. I can still light his actual candle, but rather than go through all that mess, because, you know what, I don't know what it is about 7-day candles. Once you've lit them one fucking time, you can't put them out and relight them again. It's like it fucks them up. It makes it where they won't burn, and the wick gets all thin, and then you're better off to just make a fucking symbol and then burn a separate candle next to it. It's a good, cool concept I came up with. I thought to put the Goetia symbol directly wrapped around, and then it glows orange. It's pretty cool, but sometimes the quality of candle just simply sucks. So we'll see later on if it actually works. So anyway, I was sitting in my chair and playing with my computer, and I heard a voice over my right shoulder go, "Hey," just like that. "Hey." What the fuck? What's up with that? So immediately I thought of the candle, and I thought, oh shit, okay, maybe there's some unfinished work that needs to be done here. So I'm having Andras help me with a few things, and one of the things I think Andras is really great at, from what I can see, is he just is a great spirit as far as the way he manifests. For example, my pendulum is just almost flying out of my hand due to the energy that he's giving me when I ask a question. So, for those of you that don't use a pendulum, the way that it works is the spirit somehow inhabits this pendulum, whether it's a piece of silver, a stone, whatever it is that's attached to that string, and that energy kind of flows through you and back out through you. And this, long story short, I'm not the one moving this pendulum. So I am holding it as steady and as firm as I can, and very tight at the end even, so that there's no way that it's just me trying to influence it. And this is what I typically get when the pendulum starts off. It starts off real fast. It means I'm here, I hear you, I'm ready to work. So Pendulum 101. Now, one of the things I will do when it comes to consecrating candles, since the subject matter is really Andras, but it's also how do contact spirits using a 7-day candle, and kind of why I use that. So as you can see right now, it looks like my hand is moving it. It's not. My hand's moving because of the force that the pendulum is making my hand move. And if you've never been a very experienced pendulum user, pendulum, however the fuck you want to pronounce it, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. You have to literally try it. You need to get yourself a pendulum or make something with a weighted object on it. It could be a washer on a piece of string. And here's what I do. I say to the pendulum, and I treat the pendulum as it's an individual spirit. I say, show me yes. Show me what yes is to you. And I am totally putting no influence on it whatsoever. I'm just letting it do its thing. Show me yes. It's picking up speed. I'm going to drop it down a little bit more. Come on. Show me yes. Yes is typically a circle formation in either direction. But you can also establish with the spirit what you want yes and no to be. You can also have a code for a maybe. So this is yes. It's fast spinning, positive. It just means the energy flowing through is not stopping. When it's a no, the pendulum stops and swings towards me and away from me. So, show me no. Stop it first, stop it first, stop it first. Stay still. Okay. Show me no. No. Show me your symbol for no. And basically, it's doing what it always does. It goes back and forth, away, to and fro towards me. And if it's a strong no, it'll go flying up and hit me in the back of the arm like it did just now. And it'll do this. It'll go whoop, and it'll land on the top of my arm when it's a hardcore no. Or a hardcore yes. It could be spin, 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 then it stops, boom, lands on my arm. It's kind of a way of the spirits letting you know, like, a definite yes, definite no. If I ask a question and it's giving me a yes, but it's moving real slow, it might mean like, maybe. And it's also going to be based on how I'm feeling in my emotional state towards the spirit I'm communicating with. So Andras is a fairly aggressive spirit, but a diverse spirit, not totally evil, not totally good, just has a lot of abilities and a lot of strengths. So, long story short, when I found Andras back in the cupboard, I pulled him out and I thought, well, let's see if there's anything still here. So, I'm going to put this down. I can't concentrate. So he's here. So what I do is, if I want to really work with the spirit and make a really strong contact where I feel really connected, I like to draw the symbol on a piece of paper, take white glue stick, which is the purple glue sticks that you can buy anywhere, the regular Elmer's glue stick. And then I completely do the back of the piece of paper after I put the symbol on it and wrote the name or the invocation. Got the demonic N for Andras written in ink, just regular pen at the bottom. But then I also go the extra step. For example, because I got the candle back out, I anointed it with blood and used my lancet to get a couple drops. Nothing big, but enough to get the energy going. And what's odd about this is, if you look closely at the image that was created by me dotting my blood on this candle, on this piece of paper, it actually looks like a demon. It actually looks like a demon with two faces. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like mouth, eyes, and then there's a demon behind it with two eyes. So I'm seeing that, and I'm having that manifest as I'm looking at the candle, and I'm realizing the spirit is physically manifesting for me by using my blood to create a face of its own on the candle. And that happens a lot in magic, where you go do something and you'll go back and look at what you were working on, and there'll be really, really obvious signs that the spirit is trying to communicate with you, like when you're looking at smoke during a ritual and you can see faces and impressions, and you can really, really go all out. But I definitely see a face here. I even see an ear, and then behind it something else. But this is a deliberate manifestation that happens when you make a sacrifice to something that's actually living and real energetically. So these definitely are real spirits. So why the 7-day candle? I think it's great because you can light that candle, leave it lit. You could I will put it in a saucer with water. If I have to go to work, I can leave that candle lit. If you want to keep spirits around, always leave a candle lit. It creates a gateway and it leaves a portal open for them basically to come and return. So what am I doing with the 2 candles? I'm creating gateway for Andras to manifest. And that's pretty much all you need to have, is one of the 3 gateways open. In my case, I'm using 2. So the blood is a gateway. Blood and blood sacrifice is a way that spirits can manifest, either through the sacrifice itself, or, as you can see, I used my blood almost like it was a decoration, and it turned into an accidental demonic impression on the candle. So I don't know if this isn't very helpful at all, but the beauty of the 7-day candle, or even if it's only going to last for 3 days, is that's 3 days of you having a direct connection, spending time with that spirit. So in Andras' case, I'm spending a little time with him here and there and then blowing it out. Now, if I really want to get serious, I will light his candle, leave it lit, and let it burn all the way out. And then maybe even go as far as creating additional candles for him so that if I was doing a 7 or 9 day or even 30-day ritual with him, that I would have these candles drawn out and prepared in advance. And then each time I would light it, I would make a blood sacrifice, a couple dots of blood. If I have holy water or something to consecrate the candle with, I definitely do. I always pray over and use my pendulum to charge the candle that's about to be used for the invocation. So I just hold the pendulum over the candle. As it starts to pick up energy, I start to remove things from it that I don't want from it, and I start to program this candle with my will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to program this now very sacred candle that I've created. I've made it special to me. I've bled on it, I've drawn on it, I've dedicated time to it. Now Andras has a direct portal, especially through fire and blood, to come through and speak to me. If I wanted to create another portal, I would just simply put the candle lit in a bowl of water, and then you have the portal of water, the portal of blood, and the portal of fire. The element of air is another way. So what you would also do would be just burn incense simultaneously. So what you're doing is you're giving several gateways, and you're also honoring the 5 elements. The 5th element is spirit. Spirit is the energy that you have to put into it, not the blood, not the bullshit, not the candles, not the toys. The spirit element, earth, air, fire, water, and the last one is spirit. That can be used using your voice for air. And then the spirit is the energy and the emotion you put into the candle. So if you're programming Andras candle for working towards a relationship or towards money or towards revenge, you would simply be concentrating on those feelings and putting those thoughts into it as you're doing this with your pendulum. Now keep in mind, I've been working with a pendulum for around 20 years now, so for me a pendulum is second nature, and it's automatic. It's a lot like reading tarot. At first it seems like it's very mechanical, like you have to do something, like when you're trying to read the instructions to Monopoly or something. There's nothing spiritual about it. It's kind of boring at first, but once you have your deck charged and once you've got these symbols memorized in your head, that's when the spirits really can have some clear communication with you. And that's why occultism is an art, and it's also something you need to learn, because there are symbols to learn, there are definitions in these cards, the spirits do have their own definitions, they have their own genetic makeup. For example, they have a direct tie to a certain element, a direct tie to a certain planet, a direct tie to an astrological current. So they have all those 3 things, and you can also incorporate that into your little ritual to invoke them. So for example, if the spirit is a spirit of Mars, you would simply honor that spirit on, I think Mars is on a Saturday. You would just simply honor that spirit on the day of the week that's assigned for the planets. The planets are assigned each day: Sunday, sun; Monday, moon, etc. So once you have that down, you can realize, okay, if my book's telling me that this is a solar demon, that I'm going to work with them during the day at a specific time, maybe not. But that's how you get into honing in on a spirit, is you use all those little details and you try to attract them, just like a fisherman attracts fish using bait and a specific reel and a very specific hook. And there's an art to catching the energetic spirit of a spirit. And using the triangle of manifestation is a great idea. I love it. You can put names on each of those 3 lines, whichever names you feel are divine. That will help trap and or condense the spirit into something that you can concentrate on. So the whole concept of the triangle of manifestation is just, it's a portal. Even the Catholics use it. See it in their churches before they're aware of the geometrical power of symbols. And for whatever reason, the triangle of manifestation, it really does work. And we can talk more about that later, but it's a typical Goetia tool. You could draw a circle around it. I prefer the triangle. The triangle's actually designed to funnel and channel and force the spirit into that specific region so that you have an area to concentrate on. But once they've shown up, they just basically go wherever they want. They can make their energy as large as a football stadium, or they can make it as small as the candle you're looking at. It all depends on the spirit you're working with and what kind of invocation you've done. You may do something big like an animal sacrifice to call a spirit, and it might be too much energy. You might have that spirit show up and completely wipe you out. You might faint or pass out just from the energy of that spirit. So sometimes less is more. Taking a little bit more of a casual approach, I think, is cool, because you're saying, I'm serious. I do want to speak to you. I do care about you, your background, what you actually are. I'm not here to judge you, spirit, but I am God made manifest in the flesh. I am God as a human being right now, and I have authority, and I'm calling you. I am speaking to you. You, Andras. I am the one that calls the archangels. I'm the one that calls you forth. Come at the sound of my voice. Come at the sound of the archangel's wings flapping. Come at the sound of the demons in hell roaring. I mean, you just have to force with all your energetic might this spirit by whatever means. But you have to realize, if you call a spirit in a disrespectful way, of course, there's going to be repercussions. Don't be stupid. Don't curse a spirit. If you're trying to ask for help from a spirit, then don't threaten to curse it or curse it. If a spirit gets stupid and makes a mistake, or would say a spirit becomes an enemy to you, then of course you're going to defend yourself magically. If I had a demon turn on me, I would simply... there's a million things I could think of I could do to a spirit. Spirits are very vulnerable in their own way if you understand how spirits work. They're not as hard to banish, destroy, and completely bind if you know what you're doing. I would say that I've been 90% successful in all my magical operations. And the ones that fell was because I really wasn't into it. I was maybe just doing it as an experiment and not because I had some passion behind it. So anyway, I just wanted to bring up that sometimes we forget about some of the magic we do. We forget about a demon that we may have worked with a while ago. And, you could go back and revisit them just like an old friend. And they are eternal. They don't get mad because you haven't called them up in 6 months. 6 months is nothing to a spirit. They're forever. They're not living. They're not dying. They look in on your world and they're curious about you, and you looking on theirs. And we're curious about theirs. And that's what makes this whole affair so, I guess you could say, seductive, is that working with spirits never gets old. Once you've felt them, got their blessings, and realized that they are friends, can be friendly, and that they can definitely help your life, and that they're just straight fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's a very exhilarating and fun thing to do, to work with energy that's real, and to go ahead and give these spirits the acknowledgement that they deserve. Like I've said a million times, I don't believe that these spirits are totally demonic. I think that they are old gods that have been repackaged, relabeled over time, and they have many faces, but they appear to you however I think they need to appear to you to teach you a lesson. Because when it comes to the Goetia spirits, they're very eager, like a dog that wants to play fetch, but they'll also teach your ass a lesson if you come at them thinking you're smarter, better, more equipped. You have to have the ability of mind that you're calling something up because they have an ability to do something for you that maybe you can't. So don't be arrogant. I make my request firm, but it is a request. I am asking. I am not demanding, I'm not forcing, I'm not saying if you don't, I'm going to use a spirit chain on you. I'm going to hold your symbol under sulfur and torture you. I'm not doing any of those things. I easily could, and I have done those methods before. What I realized is that when you do those methods to then turn on the spirit, you're basically turning that whole relationship off. So if you get pissed off because a spirit didn't show up in your kitchen like a fucking genie and you start doing spirit curses, just you can expect the worst to happen from then on. The best thing to do is, if it's not working and you're feeling frustrated, is to just quit the ritual, thank the spirit, dismiss them with cordialness and politeness, and ask God to bless them and send them onto their correct path, and that's it. But you do not in any way, shape, or form have to feel hostage to a spirit. You're not there to serve them. They're there to help, to be a friend, and to help you understand what you are. That you are a three-dimensional being, and you're also a bad motherfucker, because not only are you this fragile little chunk of flesh walking around on this huge ball of dirt, but you're also a god. Dark blessings, my friends, and let me tell you, Andras is a good spirit to work with.